is a fascinating new documentary called I Want Your Money. It's particularly fascinating if you're not a big fan of the administration, I am told. And joining us right now is the director of I Want Your Money, Ray Griggs, because it opens in a whole bunch of local theaters today. I'm looking at Hollywood 20 in Sarasota, and Lakeland at Lakeside Village, Regency 20 in Brandon, on and on, Centro, Ybor, Citrus Park, Veterans. What is the thrust of the movie? What is it about I Want Your Money?
It's basically about Reaganomics versus Obamonomics, and the two paths that we're currently we can head down. This current administration, or that of what Ronald Reagan had believed in.
There are so many videos out there and so many pieces on the web regarding Ronald Reagan. I mean, he has suddenly become eligible for Mount Rushmore with all the people that are worshiping him today and contrasting him to Obama. And you are the first, I guess, to put it into a video. And I guess you used I saw a trailer on this and had some fantastic animation. I don't know what you call that kind of animation, but tell us how you bring this about, considering that Ronald Reagan hadn't been with us for a while.
Well, basically, I was kind of motivated, or started getting motivated with the last administration. Just the, he had half the idea right, lowering taxes, but he was spending like a drunken sailor. But then when Obama...
Hey, pardon me, I hate to interrupt, but we get complaints from drunken sailors all the time who point out that they spend their own money and presidents don't.
Yeah, that's right. And, anyway, go back to my saying this, so then when this current administration, they just hit the gas pedal 200 miles an hour. And so that was kind of moving, especially after passing that $787 billion stimulus bill. It's unsustainable amount of debt, and people aren't taking that into consideration. It's crazy. So that's kind of what spearheaded it. But again, I'm not a documentary filmmaker, so when tackling this, I wanted to make it entertaining and enlightening, and so that's where I went with the approach of animation. There's about 30 minutes of animation in this documentary just to make it stand out a little bit differently.
I'm looking at the theaters that you're in, and you're in some of the premier theaters in the Tampa Bay area. How do you do that with a documentary? I have seldom seen a headliner being a documentary.
Yeah. Well, I've been fortunate. I did it it's self-financed, but self-distributed through a company called Freestyle, and basically you pay them a fee, and they'll book the theaters, and they managed to get me 537 theaters opening up today.
Wow.
And
that's great.
It does well this weekend. We'll actually be in 1,200 on October 29th.
Well, that is something. And are you expecting, like Al Gore with his documentary, to get the Nobel Peace Prize?
Well, I don't know. For me as a filmmaker, I just tend to not
worry about stuff like that.
Predict, just see what happens with it.
Now, I hate to tell you this, too. You can probably not expect to get any Academy Awards from very liberal Hollywood.
The leftist Hollywood, yeah.
Yeah, I kind of figured that one.
Yeah, I like what they call you here as the anti-Michael Moore, and I think America's been waiting for that, and apparently this is the answer. I Want Your Money. And, Ray, one other thing. I heard that you'd had some backlash from the film, including some people on your own crew said, don't put my name on there.
Well, it's what you were just talking about. Hollywood is massively left, and people you're in the industry don't want to come out and say that they're conservative, and they're scared to do that, especially below the line, crew, because they have to rely on the studios for work, and if they have some political agenda or whatever, the studios don't want to hear it. They have their own agenda that they're going on, and so a lot of people, when I was going out and pitching, doing this documentary, they were all on board until they found out I was conservative, and they're like, "Oh, okay, I'll work on it, but I don't want my name attached to it." And so I had to end up hiring crew that was like-minded and wasn't afraid to go out there and say, "You know what? I'm proud to be a conservative or Republican," and so it was a little tough at first.
Well, we certainly appreciate your joining us on AM Tampa Bay. And
Good luck
as I say,
with it,
I saw a trailer on this thing which was hilarious, and we urge people to see it, particularly Ronald Reagan fans. You're going to enjoy this. The people that have been sending me all those Ronald Reagan videos, this is the real McCoy, and we appreciate your joining us on AM Tampa Bay this morning, Ray.
Well, I appreciate you guys having me.
Take care.
Ray Griggs, documentary director. You can check the papers to find out where it is or go to the internet. But it's everywhere. It's in major theaters all over the Tampa Bay area, Baywalk and St. Pete and Citrus Park and Veterans, whole bunch of places.